Angela's journey is a profound one of love, betrayal, and the pursuit of happiness. As a stay-at-home mom with her husband, William, and their son, Jason, she lived a quiet life but always regretted never celebrating their marriage with a wedding. 4 years earlier, in the excitement of pregnancy, William had proposed, and they faced a whirlwind of family opposition. Determined to keep their family intact, they married in a simple ceremony, prioritizing their child's arrival over a grand wedding. Yet, the dream of a wedding never left Angela's heart. Eventually, William surprised her with a proposal to hold their long-awaited wedding around Christmas, right before Angela's return to work and Jason's start in daycare. This promise was a joy to Angela, dispelling fears of being left behind in William's life. With renewed enthusiasm, she began planning, eager to share her happiness with her closest friends, Catherine, Anna, Helen, and Catherine, who had been her unwavering support through life's many stages. As they gathered to celebrate, each friend brought her own unique experiences, from Anna's motherhood stories to Helen's pregnancy, and Catherine's quiet contemplation, possibly of her single life. Among this close-knit group, Angela felt a wave of happiness and looked forward to her dream wedding. The day itself was a beautiful, long-awaited moment. Angela, William, and Jason stood dressed to perfection, surrounded by family and friends who had come to support their love. But what began as a dream day turned dark when Angela unexpectedly collapsed. Awakening in the hospital, she overheard a horrifying truth: William and her best friend had been involved in an affair, and her wedding day had been sabotaged with sleeping pills. Heartbroken, she faced the shattering of the closest relationships she had trusted. Yet Angela's story is one of strength. Faced with such a betrayal, she chose to rise rather than remain a victim. Though painful, the revelation ignited a fierce determination in her to reclaim her happiness, proving that even in the darkest times, resilience can light the way to a fresh start. Angela had organized a reception full of joy and warmth, brimming with the love and excitement she'd long dreamed of. Unlike most brides, who rarely savor their wedding feast due to nerves, Angela eagerly anticipated enjoying the Italian cuisine she had thoughtfully chosen. Already married to William for 4 years, seeing their son joyfully eating his kids' meal between them filled her with happiness. She had looked forward to this day, believing it would be perfect. With family, friends, and colleagues gathered, the reception was more magical than she had imagined. Heartfelt speeches, a slideshow made by friends, and moments of pure joy with her husband and son made the day feel complete. Compliments on her dress flowed, symbolizing the unity and happiness that she had always wanted. Throughout the evening, Angela noticed William chatting with Catherine, a close friend he had helped during a tough time at work. Angela had always trusted their friendship, seeing William's support for Catherine's career as a natural display of kindness. But as the evening went on, events took a strange turn. Just as Angela was about to thank her parents, she felt a sudden wave of dizziness and struggled to keep her balance before collapsing. Her world blurred, and she heard voices filled with worry as William suggested it might just be a sleeping pill. His words left her unsettled, and fear set in as she lost consciousness. In the hospital, Angela learned that an overdose of sleeping pills had led to her collapse. Confused and hurt, she grappled with this unexpected betrayal and began her quest for answers amid broken trust and painful deception. As she pieced together the events, Angela found herself lost in a maze of questions. She had no memory of taking any pills, and neither she nor William understood how she'd ended up overdosed. Police suspected foul play, but with no solid evidence and a room full of guests, finding the culprit was difficult. Angela replayed William's words about the sleeping pill before she collapsed, casting a shadow on his earlier reactions. Despite an investigation, the mystery remained unsolved. With Angela under observation in the hospital, her parents cared for their son while friends and family rallied around her in support. Angela's story, once defined by love and family, unraveled into one of betrayal, discovery, and the search for justice. As a devoted stay-at-home mom, she cherished her quiet life with her husband, William, and their son, Jason. However, one lingering regret haunted her: they had never celebrated their marriage with a wedding. 4 years ago, when Angela was pregnant, William had proposed, but amid family opposition, they opted for a quiet marriage without the fanfare of a proper ceremony, prioritizing their child's future instead. The desire for a wedding never left Angela's heart. To her surprise, just before life would become more hectic with her return to work and Jason starting daycare, William suggested they finally have the wedding she always wanted. Around Christmas, this lifted Angela's spirits, giving her hope that she was still a priority in William's life. Enthusiastic, she began planning the celebration, eager to share the moment with her close friends, Catherine, Anna, Helen, and Catherine, women who had stood by her through life's many changes. Surrounded by her friends, each bringing their unique experiences, Anna with her tales of motherhood, Helen expecting her first child, and Catherine quietly reflecting on her own circumstances, Angela felt overwhelming happiness as she looked ahead to her dream wedding. On the day itself, everything seemed perfect. Angela, William, and Jason were dressed impeccably, and they were joined by family and friends who celebrated their love. Yet, in the midst of this perfect day, tragedy struck when Angela suddenly collapsed. Upon waking up in the hospital, Angela was disoriented and shocked to learn that she had overdosed on sleeping pills. Confusion turned to devastation when, during a visit to the hospital shop, she stumbled upon William and Catherine in an intimate conversation, hidden from sight. Angela overheard Catherine casually mention ruining the wedding because of her disapproval. Worse yet, William reassured Catherine, confirming their affair and revealing that the wedding had been nothing more than a cover to avoid suspicions and potential financial fallout. Heartbroken and enraged, Angela retreated to her hospital room, her love for both William and Catherine completely destroyed. As the reality of their betrayal set in, Angela's sadness gave way to fury. The once cherished memories were tainted, and her ties to them severed. She resolved to confront the situation head-on, turning her focus toward seeking justice for herself and reclaiming her life. The day after discovering the affair, William attempted to talk to Angela, but her pain was too raw. She feigned exhaustion, pretending to sleep as her mind raced with plans of revenge. She vowed to strip William of his home, his finances, and his career, while also dismantling Catherine's life, targeting her job, social circle, and illicit relationship with William. But Angela knew she needed solid proof to bring their lives crashing down. Once discharged from the hospital, Angela wasted no time. She hired a private investigator to expose the affair and to potentially link Catherine to the sleeping pills that caused her collapse. She also sought help from her lawyer friend Catherine, who, despite initial disbelief, agreed to help Angela gather evidence. They knew the stakes were high if they could prove both the affair and Catherine's role in the drugging. Despite their efforts, finding concrete evidence was difficult. William had become more cautious, limiting his social activities and keeping his personal effects guarded. The private investigator's findings hinted at a close relationship between William and Catherine, but nothing definitive emerged to confirm the affair. The only lead was that Catherine had a prescription for sleeping pills, potentially linking her to Angela's overdose. Frustrated, Catherine suggested a new plan. Angela would pretend to leave town, creating an opportunity for William to let his guard down. Angela agreed, hoping the scheme would reveal his true actions. With Valentine's Day approaching, a time when William might feel emboldened, the stage was set. Angela told William she was visiting her parents in Kansas, but instead, she set up hidden cameras around their home to catch him in the act. William, thinking she was away, believed her cover story as she sent pictures and video calls from her trip. Initially, William's responses seemed genuine, making Angela doubt her suspicions. But soon, the footage told a different story. William was caught tampering with the house's usual pet camera before inviting Catherine over, confirming their affair. Fueled by the revelation, Angela contacted Catherine, and together they plotted the final phase of their plan. Angela returned to New York under the pretense of work, leaving Jason with her parents to shield him from the unfolding drama. With Catherine's help, she prepared for a confrontation, waiting for the perfect moment to expose William and Catherine. Their patience paid off when William and Catherine left the house for groceries. Angela and Catherine sneaked into the house, hiding in the closet, and waited. When the couple returned and resumed their affair, Angela and Catherine emerged, catching them red-handed. The confrontation left William and Catherine speechless, their betrayal fully exposed. With the evidence in hand, Angela was ready to take the next steps in dismantling her marriage and severing her ties with both William and Catherine. Though the path ahead was filled with emotional challenges, Angela's resolve had only grown stronger. Empowered by the truth, she was determined to rebuild her life on her own terms. Angela, now aware of the depth of William and Catherine's betrayal, faced them with a determined resolve. She exposed her ruse of a trip to Kansas, which had enabled her to gather the damning proof of their affair. Stunned, William tried to shift the blame onto Catherine, accidentally admitting he knew about the drugging. Chena, Angela's lawyer, recorded his confession, tightening the trap around them. Catherine, shocked at Angela's appearance, began to comprehend the magnitude of their misstep. Chyna then outlined the serious legal implications, silencing William's attempt to downplay the affair as meaningless. Catherine, realizing the gravity of her actions, sought William's help, but he turned coldly away. The arrival of law enforcement signaled the culmination of Angela's pursuit of justice. Both William and Catherine were questioned, with the investigation extending to Catherine's prescription history, confirming a recent order for sleeping pills. Angela, alongside Chyna, celebrated the start of a new chapter, liberated from deception. William wasn't criminally charged but was forced to resign from his job under a cloud of misconduct. He faced ruin as further revelations from coworkers painted a grim picture of his character. When Angela filed for divorce, William, abandoned by legal support and backed into a corner, pleaded for a second chance, even offering alimony. Unmoved, Angela stood firm, determined to protect her future and her son's. Observing William's desperation, Chyna suggested mediation to prevent him from further draining his finances. Conceding, William accepted the divorce terms after some reflection. His defeat brought relief to Angela, who secured a settlement including substantial compensation, child support, and a portion of his severance. This ensured a stable future for her and their son, despite William's downfall. Catherine's attempt to settle privately for damages related to the wedding was firmly rejected. Her audacious plea only served to deepen Angela's resolve to take legal action. When Catherine mocked William's new life without a job, the conversation quickly escalated until Chyna intervened, turning the encounter to Angela's legal benefit. Angela emerged from her journey through betrayal with a strengthened spirit, ready to reclaim her life. The ordeal not only unveiled the true nature of those closest to her but also set her on a path to newfound strength and independence. When Angela recounted her story to Anna and Helen, their reaction underscored their disdain for Catherine, effectively cutting her out of their lives. Catherine's rapid fall from grace soon led to legal consequences and an eventual arrest. Her parents attempted to help, offering a settlement, but Catherine's refusal to admit fault left her facing possible jail time. Meanwhile, William's life had crumbled, forcing him to take on low-paying jobs in construction and cleaning. Angela harbored mixed feelings, hoping he could manage the financial responsibilities for her and their son's sake. As Angela returned to her hotel job, she found balance between her career and motherhood, though adjusting to daycare was difficult. The financial settlement helped her edge closer to her goal of homeownership. Her newfound independence and strength shaped her outlook on life, filling her days with optimism. Embracing this fresh start, Angela looked forward to a brighter future, fortified by her journey through betrayal. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Stay tuned.